Hello, welcome to Gaggle.net. My name is Wally Sarkisian. And today in this episode, we have a story to tell. This is a book, the story of how single innocent comment end up unlocking answers to lifetime of ancestral inquiry. And the name of the book is Forbidden Homeland and the story of Diasporan. And let's welcome the writer, the Katia Tavitian. Welcome.
Hi, Wally. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about your story. How did you land on this story?
Well, the story starts with a very positive event in my life, in my family's life. We had just come to the United States. I was going to college, trying to make friends. And by chance, I found my grandmother's long-lost relatives. These were relatives who were separated because of the Armenian genocide. And then we got to meet some of these relatives, and it was a life-changing event for me. It got me really interested in the subject of the diaspora, of the genocide. So I started investigating and researching and finding new, more and more relatives. And as I was putting the family story together, I wanted to put some of those events in historical perspective. So I started researching, and I ran into all sorts of facts having to do with the Armenians who were left behind in Turkey, and all sorts of events that had taken place before the genocide had happened, during the genocide, and the aftermath of the genocide. And really, the journey helped me define my understanding of the Armenian cause. I wanted a full picture that described to me the crime. I could not research about my family's story without investigating the crime, how it happened, why it happened, how they got away with it. They continue to get away with it. So I went into the geopolitics of it, the media that covers things up, and I guess my book proposes a new timeline for the Armenian genocide. I think of it as a 130-year active crime that continues until today. It started when the Armenian question came out, when the Ottoman Empire was becoming weaker, and Sultan Abdul Hamid decided to solve the issue by instigating massacres. So it started in 1894, and it continues till today. And the idea is to eradicate the Armenian population from the area and taking over our lands. It comes down to that. So the book links the Armenian genocide to the Karabakh conflict or movement, and it sees it as one and the same crime. As you can see on the map, we used to be a very large nation, and we keep on shrinking and shrinking because you have a Turkic policy or ambition of making that entire bloc Turkish. So we are now left with the current Republic of Armenia. And as you know, Artsakh is in great danger of ethnic cleansing.
Yes, definitely. Artsakh is, we're thinking about it every day, every hour now, what is going on. Yeah. How long took you to write this book?
I've been writing the book for 12 years.
12 years?
Originally, I meant for it to be just a family memoir or record of our story, because the story of my family, of how they escaped from the genocide, was very intriguing. And I'm sure the readers will find that to be so. So I never intended to publish the book. However, as I aligned all these facts that are buried by geopolitics and all sorts of things, I realized that there's value in publishing it. There are facts in there that were I mean, when I found out about them, were mind-blowing. I wondered why, as a nation, we decided not to promote them and push them to the forefront. Many things, from the genocide, involving the Gharapar movement. Gharapar seceded from the Soviet Union legally, using Article 3 of the Soviet or of the Russian 1990 cessation law. So we have all these facts that for some reason we did not push forward. And by not doing that, we allowed the other party the time and the space to spew their own alternate facts, to push history revisionism and fabrications. And they led a very successful war of information without any pushback from us that was worth mentioning, especially the last 30 years. So this book pushes back against the Turkish and Azeri fabrication and history revisionism. And it's really meant to educate Armenians and non-Armenians alike. I also see this story as an American story, because America is a medley of immigrants, and it consists of different diasporas. So every American has their own story here as to why they ended up here, and a piece of our homeland stays with us, obviously. But so I see it as an American story. Americans should question some of the foreign policies of this nation, where policies that are funded by our tax dollars. So it's an eye-opening, hopefully, piece of literature.
So how much of the book you devote to Artsakh cause?
A good portion of it, because when I found my grandmother's relatives, it was around 1988, and the Sumgay pogroms were taking place. Oh. So the Gharapagh first war was starting in the background as I was researching my family's story. And growing up in Lebanon, I had never heard of Gharapagh. So that was very intriguing. I didn't know that it was part of the Armenian kingdom. So I started looking into that as well. So the Gharapagh story is a very important part of the book, because I see it as the active leg of the Armenian genocide. It's one and the same. All the massacres that were conducted by the Azeris were, if you research them, were assisted by Turkey. So again, I see it as one and the same crime. Wow. So it does. Yeah, I wanted the Gharapagh story to definitely be a big story in here, because it puts the crime into our lifetime. So, and when I researched, I found a lot of fascinating facts about the Gharapagh. It's part of Artsakh, which was the 10th province of the Armenian kingdom. And I know a lot of Armenians don't know or say that, Gharapagh was never ours, which is so wrong. Again, because we are ignorant about our history or facts in our history, or we should have been better educated about them, we have allowed the other side to not only push their narratives, to even fool some of us, which is the tragedy here.
Yeah, especially in Armenia, there is now lots of hatred toward Artsakh, unfortunately.
Yes.
So, how thick is this book? How many pages?
It's a good size. It's 380 pages.
Wow.
However, 20 of those pages are references. Okay. The references that I used, that I relied on, because the book is part memoir, part history. So every fact that I was layering in there, I had to obviously reference. And those are the references that I looked into, that I read.
Yes. Some of the stuff from the book, I don't know whether you want to show it or not. It's like this. Those are evidence stuff, like you're putting it in there?
Yes, I ran into this telegram, which is very fascinating. It's from an American commission working in the vicinity of Nakhichevan, describing a 1919 massacre of Armenians in Nakhichevan. Okay, so that's the part that was later given to Azerbaijan by the Soviet Union, along with Artsakh. So in this telegram, it describes the same atrocities as we're seeing nowadays, and it describes about 6,000 to 12,000 Armenians being massacred in Nakhichevan. And Nakhichevan, the word is Armenian, Nakhichevan.
Yeah.
It's traditionally it talks about for it being the area where Noah first settled. So it's ironic.
Yeah.
So all these massacres were happening towards the latter part of what we describe the Armenian genocide, 1919. And then in 1919, same year, 30,000 Armenians were massacred in Baku. And then the following year, 1920, 20,000 Armenians were massacred in Shushi. And why Shushi? Because Shushi was the capital of Qarabakh. So they figured if we eradicate the demographic numbers of the Armenians, then we have a better, footing to claim it as ours, because they announced that area was, they wanted to annex it. Yeah. So I guess the philosophy has always been, if there's no people, then they can't hang on to the land, then we can take the land.
That's how
there was no Azerbaijan until 1918. There was no country of Azerbaijan. There was no ethnicity of Azeri until the 1930s. The ethnicity of Azeri was created by the Bolsheviks, the Russians. They were known as Caucasian Tatars. So there was no country of Azerbaijan. So if there was no country of Azerbaijan, how could it have any territorial claims?
Yeah. And you also have this sort of map.
This is the arbitral award of President Woodrow Wilson that awarded the 3 of the 6 Armenian vilayets in Western Armenia to Armenia. And from what I've read, an arbitral award is not reversible. Once it's offered, it's not reversible, which begs the question, then obviously Western Armenia is occupied by Turkey. And the signature of the president is right on there, and the seal of America.
And of course, you're from Beirut, you have this picture in there. And so this must be good old days,
Yes, this is pre-war downtown Beirut. And on the left is the automatic building. That's what it was called, automatic building, where my dad's store was on the, I believe, 2nd or 3rd floor.
Also,
when, Beirut was known as the Paris of the Middle East. It was gloomy,
Switzerland
it was
of
beautiful.
Middle East. Yeah.
And it holds a very special place in my heart. I was born in Jumeirah, Beirut.
Yeah, I've been there. I was there in 75, and I went there before Corona twice too. So, but it's completely different now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And who are those people?
These people, that's me. I'm the baby there. That's my picture of my christening. My parents and my grandmother, Mariam, whose relatives I found here.
Oh, wow.
She's standing there. I write quite a bit about her. I was young when she passed away, but I always remembered her wearing black because back then, widows always wore black.
Yeah.
But I also found out what she had gone through during the genocide, which I wasn't aware of.
Well, it's amazing you took your time beside your active work and your active volunteerism, and you you put this book together. It's just amazing. I think everybody should just get a hold of a copy of it. And especially now it's the Christmas time, and probably the best gift you could give to anybody. And
Absolutely. The book is available on Amazon. It's available as paperback and Kindle versions. It is a great gift. My hope is that everyone's going to value it as a piece of tool to educate Armenians and non-Armenians alike, especially the new generation.
yes,
One of the pillars of a nation is its history.
yes,
If you take away the knowledge of history, that nation no longer remains a nation. And that's why it's always been attacked by our enemies. They either burned our books or they converted us to Islam, all sorts of things to take away our identity. So it's very, very important to know our past, our facts, especially for the new generation. If the new generation is our future and they don't know our history, then we're lost.
yes.
So this is meant as, as I said, an educating tool, especially to push back on all the revisionism and the lies that are coming from the other side.
Yes, the one thing is about Armenians. We write books, we read them, we make movies, we watch them. We need to educate others. I mean, if someone could buy maybe 20 books like this and donate to a school, school library, and this would be a help, because for me buying this book, reading it's okay, I understand, but we need to educate the public, and every Armenian should just buy one book, 10 book, whatever your financial situation is, just hand it to your friends, your neighbor. And this is a story, our story, what's happening. It doesn't matter who's writing it. It's my story, it's your story, it's other stories. And I always, every occasion we have interview people with their book, Rumi, that the guy Vic, he made that movie, yeah, and the guy is doing such a marketing. It's incredible marketing. He just sent a copy to every member of Congress, and I think this is what has.
As I said, I was shocked when I found out some of these facts. I was shocked because I couldn't believe that we had all these facts on our side and we kept them quiet. Any other nation that would have had these facts, on their side, they would have promoted it like crazy.
Yes.
Why was it quiet? That's probably another book to write about. However, we are dealing with countries who are very rich, very powerful, who are funding PR companies, lobbyists, you name it, to write their narrative. And all we have is our voices. And this is the least we can do. And yes, I'm hoping that this book will become part of a reading requirement or list in high schools, at least Armenian high schools. As I said, I go back to this book being more an American story, because the Americans themselves have to know how involved America was in the Armenian destiny. I was surprised. I mean, there was a vote in 1920 in the US Senate about putting a mandate on Armenia. Imagine that, and it didn't pass. You know how there was a mandate, a French mandate on Lebanon. There was going to be an American mandate on Armenia, Wilsonian Armenia. And then there was the Near East Foundation, which was the first large-scale overseas fundraising that America has done, and it was for saving Armenians. And it goes on and on. And now we're dealing with Section 907, which was put together as it prevents America from sending aid to Azerbaijan. And it was secondary to the blockade that Azerbaijan had imposed on Armenia and Artsakh back in the first war, Karabakh War. And now that Section 907 is being waived, and America is sending military aid to Azerbaijan. So the American people can use this book as well to see what's being done with their, as I said, tax dollars and what their government's doing in their name abroad.
Unfortunately, fortunately, we have several good organizations like ANC, and those people day and night they work with their local legislator, state legislator, Congress. They're doing really, really great jobs. Those people, I always support them. But we need more. We need more people to get involved. I was in Greek, in Athens. I went find ANC, those people there. I interviewed them. They do hard work. They still have paper print every day, every week. They deliver them to people home. And so the Armenians everywhere are working hard to do these things, but we are small. Our voices have a limited destination, But there are people like yourself who take their time and write those books to expose this Turkish, Turkish crime against humanity. And Turkey was not enough. Now we have Azerbaijan to deal with it. And so it's a dilemma.
Well, they call themselves two states, one nation.
Yes.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's the same nation.
Yeah.
I mean, Azerbaijan would not have formed if it wasn't for Turkey pressuring for its formation. So they're one and the same, pretty much.
Yeah. In fact, today were some pictures, those people who was supposed to be environmentalists, but they were all terrorists. They're putting on their shoulders all the Anwar Pasha's pictures. Because Anwar Pasha was who created that Azerbaijan.
Totally.
Yeah. So.
I can't imagine how the world stays quiet when a whole enclave is being blockaded as we speak.
Unfortunately,
there's going to be pretty soon a humanitarian crisis, and we have to raise our voices like never before, because if we stay quiet, this is going towards total ethnic cleansing.
It is. I mean,
Unfortunately, there's a lot of entities who profit from Azerbaijan occupying Artsakh, and we are not on the right side of the equation, it seems. But as I said, we only have our voices, and we have to be out there.
The problem of the world is, I just made this, I haven't even published, is those three evil empires, the Russians, the Turks, the Ottoman Empire, and the British. Those are the ones who conquered, partitioned, carved the regions to their forever is their things. And here it is. The three evil empires. And none of them have been punished. Only the British, because George Washington was the person who rise up and kick the British from the United States, but they are now back again, controlling CIA, using Americans to go around. And most of the people don't understand. This is why I'm trying to talk lots about it. Is America is a victim of those empires. And they come and they infiltrate CIA, others, take America to wars here and there. And like whether Iraq, it's all for the benefit of these three evil empires. And so, but we need to fight. We need to encourage, like the people like you write books, expose those evil empires.
Yeah, I mean, the record has to be out there. We have to put it out there. Just like you said, these are cultures who thrive on expansionism. They see themselves as imperialistic, and unfortunately, this is the story. And we are a small nation in this sea of tyranny. It's really sad. If we were in Europe, we were probably prospered by now and been a great nation, but we are where we are.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. As I mentioned, like this map tell all the story. Look at where
Yes.
Western Armenia was and where it is
Yes.
now.
Well, in 1920, the League of Nations recognized Artsakh as a historic Armenian land in its verbiage, and the League of Nations was mandated to draw the borders between Azerbaijan, Armenia, and Georgia in the case the three of them did not come up to reach a resolution about them. But you know what happened? The Soviet Union took over, and those lands that Azerbaijan was contesting were just simply given to them illegally. So now if the League of Nations were given the opportunity to decide where the borders should be based on demographics, and their plan was to base it on the demographics before World War I and historic data, obviously we would have gotten the land because demographically and historically it's our lands. And that's why Azerbaijan took them illegally. They were given to them by the Soviet Union, or they were taken by force. As I said, if the nation did not exist previously to this, how could it have any territorial claims? It did not exist until 1918.
And then we have a corrupt government in Armenia too. They don't care about this stuff. They don't care about historical things. And the diaspora, we're trying to do everything here, but that's the situation right now. It's a very dire situation. So.
I think we were engineered to be divided because that was the best way of conquering us, obviously. Divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day, this is a dream, but hopefully one day we'll all come together and decide what the Armenian values are, who we are as a people, where we are going, what are our goals, and we need to start learning how to put our interests before anything else, because whomever helps us or says will be helping us is helping us based on their own interests, which is normal. And we have to understand that. We have to put our interests first. It's costing us a lot being divided, but hopefully we'll survive this phase as well.
The problem is we're getting more and more divided. Was like before in diaspora there was only 3 political parties, but now in Armenia they have like 40 political parties. So they just keep dividing, and there's no end to it. So, but I really thank you for taking your time writing this book, and I hope every Armenians. Don't just buy it for yourself, but just buy it, give it to your neighbor, give it to school, give it to the place you work, and what is the price of this book now at Amazon?
Well, the paperback is $25.
Oh, it's nothing.
The Kindle is $18.99.
That's good price.
Yes.
Yeah. So I really ask people to do that. Just buy it and give it to anybody that non-Armenian. Of course, you buy it, you read it, but give it to others. And this is how we have to get this message out. So always.
Well, in all honesty, we have to read it too, because as I said, I run into all these facts that I keep on telling people about, and it's the first time they're hearing about it.
Well,
especially if we don't know our history.
Especially new generation, like they don't know this stuff. Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, unfortunately, our enemies know our history much better than us because they study ways to, rewrite it so that we lose all hope of, hanging on to our lands.
Yeah.
So thank you, Wally, for seeing the value in this book and highlighting it. I truly appreciate it.
No,
and I invite everyone to whomever's interested in the book or wants to write to me, they can reach me at ktkauthor@gmail.com.
We'll put all that information, Amazon information, on the show notes, and we're also going to publish that on gagrule.net. And from our side, and this will be on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and of course on Gaggle.net as on the website. And this is a great book, and I highly recommend anybody to buy it, read it, and please distribute it. And so the whole Armenian story is in this book. And this is story of every Armenian, every individual, Some they take like her to heart and go there and research and find the right book. But if you didn't, but this is relate to everybody, So please
Absolutely.
do.
This is our story. And as I was researching, I noticed that there are so many different books, but not a book that puts like a summary together in one place. And that was my intention with the book.
Yeah, and hope you could come back when the book is right now is on paperback. Is that what they call them?
Yes, it's a paperback.
Right. So when it published, maybe I'll buy one and read it.
Well, it is available.
It's available.
And it's going to be carried by some Armenian Armenian bookstores. So they will be available.
Okay.
It is available right now.
Okay, that's great. So go ahead and buy it. This is great book. And we'll put all information, but of course in Amazon, if you go in Amazon, just type Forbidden Homeland, you will find it. So Amazon is a great place for the books. And maybe you could make it the bestseller book, if Armenian, they all try to buy it at least, So,
Thank you.
So I'll just give you closing thought. You tell me whatever you want to say.
Well, I just want to say that, as a people, we have been around for thousands of years. Many empires have come and gone. Many kings, Caesars, you name it, have come and gone, and we survived. And I have every faith in our people. We're going to find a way to overcome this pretty difficult place that we're in right now. But I have faith in our people. We will overcome this too.
Thank you very much. We appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Your hard work for putting this book together. I know how hard it is, to, collect all this information and put them together. It's not an easy. And thank you very much for your hard work. We wish you all the best.
Thank you. I hope everyone reads it and lets me know what they think.
Yes, I'm sure they will. It's just a matter of time, because how long has this been out now?
A week or so.
Yeah, so I'm sure people would know that by now. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much, and all the best to you. And we'll see you maybe next time when we have some more information in the book. So,
sure.
You take care. Bye-bye.
You too.
For our viewers, thank you for watching. And again, please go there and buy 1, 2, 10, and give it away. Read it, share it, especially with the young generation. It's in English. Everybody know how to read English. So do it. And thank you again. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.